Hey everybody, today is a bigger day than it was yesterday, that's for sure. Yep. Yeah, there it is. Got the tarps all over it, the engine hoist, and I put the engine in the engine compartment, in the engine bay. But it's not, connected up to the transmission or anything like that. As you can see down there, still 4 inches and 3/4 of an inch. I measured the distance between the transmission bell house and the engine block. I just put it in there just to get a decent shot of the problem that I'm having. And the problem I'm having is this is where the engine mounts to the front cross member, right? But these holes, they don't line up with the engine mounts. See? They just don't line up. Right? They don't. I mean, the camera work right now is pretty off the wall, pretty off the wall camera work I'm doing here. But yeah. So I just put there's that hole. There's the engine mount, but they don't really seem like they're gonna line up. Like I measured it. Like I even came out here in the morning with the timing cover when it wasn't attached to the Rambler, and yeah, the engine mount bolts didn't line up with the timing cover, right? Like one will go through, like, say that bolt hole, that hole right there, like that one will go through it, but the other one won't pass through that slot. I've measured it about 6 times, and I gotta tell you, I think the difference is probably, I don't know, maybe around 2.5 inches, really. Like the distance between the bolts on the engine mounts is about 9.5 inches, and the distance between the two slots on the timing cover there and there is about 11.5 inches. And I measured it like 6 times with measuring tape, and I was even careful to have the edge of the measuring tape follow the shape of the timing cover, like around, right? And it's, I don't know, I don't get it. So I got the engine in here just to get it in here and take a picture of that, just to illustrate the problem, and also work towards a solution. Like talk to the guys in the AMC forum and see what they say about it. But I have noticed during my research over the last 6 months on the Rambler is that there's different timing covers. Like there's slight variations in timing covers, right? There's actually a timing cover that does have wide, like, bolt, like, holes in it for the engine mounts that are farther apart. I don't know how the previous owner would have been driving this car. So it could be possible that maybe this was a project that he was trying to work on and he didn't actually finish it, and maybe he didn't actually get it going. It was something that he wanted to do, but maybe he couldn't do it because of that. Maybe that was one of the problems. I don't know. I don't know how he could have been driving the car around if the engine mounts don't line up with the spot that they're supposed to, support the engine. I just don't get it, I mean, obviously he can't. Obviously you can't drive around a car, if the engine, can't, be installed into the chassis, the cross members, right? Maybe he didn't tell me the truth. And maybe what he did is he tried to drive the Rambler, but he couldn't. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe he tried to drive the Rambler, but he couldn't. And then he decided, you know what? I'm going to have to sell it because I'm tired of this shit. I mean, it's a pretty difficult car. It's called AMC, but I kind of think that it should be called OMG. Oh my God. Or I kind of think that it should be called WTF. I mean, like, taking off, like, the front grille there to make it easier to, put that engine in there was just difficult, man. Like, me and my dad were over here, like, taking off all these, like, these bolts. And, like, they had bolts in, like, the weirdest places, right? Like, we were trying to take out this wire because this wire was getting in our way, right? And so my dad's like, oh, I'll just take this off right here, Take this off and then I'll be able to get the wire out of the way. Nope. That's not what happened at all. Oh, jeez. That's really not what happened at all. That's not what happened at all. We took out these bolts, and the bolts just came off, and then this piece came off. But this other piece right here, it's welded to this piece right here, and the wires are still behind it. And we went, oh, that's really annoying. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. It kind of is. I mean, like, there's so many, like, weird little things about this car that just don't make a lot of sense. It's kind of bizarre. It's a bizarre car. It really is. Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to make a video because it's progress, and I gotta tell you, I'm really happy that the engine's just in there. It just makes me feel so happy that the engine's actually just in there, even though I still got problems. I got problems, but it's nice to see that, at least something's happening with the big job, At least something's happening with the big job. That other video I made about how to attach the flywheel, I felt pretty good about, figuring that out and getting that flywheel torque down. Like, man, it was kind of tough. It was a little tough. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, I mean, me and my dad, when we put this thing in here, I mean, like, we kind of scratched up the bottom of the oil pan on this because we couldn't take off the hood. Like, the bolts that go through here, they're on other fasteners on the other side of this, which is like an inch wide between the rest of the hood. And you know, the fasteners on the other end of that are just like spinning, and so nothing happens. And you also can't, you know, take it from that side right there on those bolts, because the bolts are just the bolts, right? You know, like